All right, y'all, welcome to a new series that I'm gonna be adding to the channel called What I Rode. And basically what I'm gonna do going forward, now that I have my board rack and my quiver in my office, in my studio, and I have this space, is going forward, want to talk about, post swell, why I chose boards and what boards I ended up riding. This past swell we had, the big South swell, it was a massive swell, and beforehand I actually filmed myself deciding what boards to ride. So before we get into the two that I ended up choosing out through those 2 days, I'll just let the beginning of the last vlog roll for those of you who missed it, or anyone that's just interested in my thought process and why I choose what size boards I do. Afterwards, we'll talk about the two I rode. It's huge right now. And when I mean huge, I mean the buoys are like 21 feet or something. Last night they hit 28 feet. The wind is actually already offshore. Right now, before we kick off the epic surfing that's about to happen and the epic day that's about to go down, I think into tomorrow, let's just start by picking out the quiver. So I haven't packed the truck. I need to pull some more fins out. I always take John fins with me. They're kind of my go-to, although I've started using the Pizel fins more. All right, so first off the rack, 20 feet, 13 seconds. Oh no, I don't have a pad on that. Oh no, I don't have pads on either of those. Well then. I was gonna grab my 6.6, but I guess I'm just going 6.4. 6.4 next step, 18.63 by 2.4. 28.6 liters. Rode this thing this past fall. You will see the session that went down on it when the movie comes out. Good board. So 6.4. Also gonna go 6.4 AJW. This is the Magic Swallowtail, 18.5 by 2.5, 29.85 liters. I'm not gonna need more paddle power than that, I don't think. I don't know, I completely forgot I don't have pads in those boards. Oh, I have a pad. I am gonna take one 6.6. I'm gonna take a 6.6 next step. So let's, eventually I'm gonna have a little table here to prep boards with y'all, but right now we're just gonna use a box. This box over here. The thing is, it is huge. And when you're fighting the current and the wind, it's gonna be blowing 25 to 30. You gotta have paddle power. I've only ridden a 6.6 like once or twice here, but 6.4 many times. Let's see what we do today. I got a Dakine launch pad. This is called being unprepared, with the ability to be prepared. I mean, as big as it is and as windy as it is, I don't even know if I'll put a 5.8 in the car. Don't foresee that happening. All right, 6.6 next step. By 18.63 by 2.44, 29.7 liters. So it's the same liter volume as the AJW 6.4, which is interesting. Those are my big boards. I'm planning on riding one of those first. All right, next up, we got I haven't ridden this one yet. Was it 5.11 step driver? 5.11 by 18.63 by 2.38, 27.5 liters. This thing's beefy. Next we're going 5.10 step driver by 18.63 by 2.38, 27.5 liters. I did ride this fall a couple times. Got a few good waves on it. Paddles really well. I will probably ride one of these two loss if it drops below double overhead. If it's double overhead and up, I'll probably ride a 6.4. I'll only ride the 6.6 if it's like 12 to 15 foot faces and like solid. Again, the wind is a factor too, so we'll see. But those are probably the boards I'll be riding today. I'm gonna put a 5.10 Ghost in there, just in case the swell dies out. But this is only, what's this, 5.10, 18.75, 2.31. It says 25.4 liters. I don't know how accurate that is. Maybe it is. It doesn't feel like that. I think because the wide point's up here and there's enough foam, it feels more like 26.5 to me, 26. but it paddles like it's 27. So 510 Ghost. That's been my go-to board, barrel board. That and the AJW potato launcher. But the AJW is a 5.8 and that doesn't quite paddle enough for this much wind and being in a hooded suit and stuff. I don't really want to have to paddle that hard. So there's the quiver. We're ready for the day. There, quiver shot for you before I put it in the car. Today's South Swell, giant South Swell assortment. So now that you saw that, we're gonna go ahead and dive into first board. First board was the 510 step driver from Lost. This was ordered custom. It's a 510 by 18.63 by 2.38, 27.6 liters. I've only ridden this board a couple times, but the 2 times I did ride it, I realized it paddled really well. And so what happened that last swell, where we were surfing was big, and I had my 510 Ghost, and the size sets that were coming in, it was a little much for my 510 Ghost. And because this paddles better, I went with this. I can't sit here and tell you anything technical about this board. I don't even have a clue. I had, what did I have in it? I think I had John fins in it, or the Pizels, I can't remember. Thoughts on this board so far and that day? It caught waves really easy. I didn't feel, even the moments when I was kind of late, it just really like pushed down the face and got me into it. The one thing that did feel weird was it felt kind of sluggish off the bottom. This board came out pretty beefy for being what it's designed to be. I felt one of Corey Lopez's 6.0 step drivers that he had when he was here this fall, and it felt way better than this. So I don't know if it was just, if this is like a thicker version or something. His dims were a little different, but either way, it is a tank. It's heavy, which I like for big waves. It's glass strong. I mean, shoot, I can't hardly stick my thumb into it. And yeah, I think I have a 511 that I haven't ridden, but honestly, it's becoming my trusty board when it's like a little too much for the Ghost or the AJW potato launcher, but not enough for my 6.4. And so that's why I ended up riding it that day. Went well, got a couple good waves. Feels good, like butt stalling off the bottom. The only gripe I have with it is just that it feels, like I said, feels kind of sluggish. I noticed that even when I rode it this fall the 2 times, when I go to huck and pump, it just seems like it needs to draw the lines out a little more. Could just be, you know, one-off board I got, something's different, but yeah, I do like it, I do trust it, and yeah, that's what I rode the big day. Now, moving on, day 2, I rode my Ghost. This is the very first Ghost that I got off the rack at Real Water Sports when we started this whole partnership where I was riding anything they carry instead of riding for a single board brand. What's kind of cool is, you can see how thick that sucker is. This is a 510, this is just stock board. This is a 510, 18 3/4, 2.31. Again, says 25.4 liters. Look at that foam. The sucker's not thick. 2.31 is not a thin board. So, here. This is the broken version. It finally died after 1.5 years of putting it in tubes. It survived Skeleton Bay. It survived all last fall and winter here. And it survived this fall up until December. So, do love that board. And I do actually have, oh, that's the wrong one. Have its brother. So this is the same board, 510 Ghost. And this is my trusty board. So that second day that we surfed, you might like see some of the clips and be like, why was he on a 510 Ghost? Like, it was pretty mellow. Well, I basically rode a board for the set waves. You know, there were some bombs, there were some super square heavy ones, and it was windy. I didn't want to be getting hung up in the lip on a shortboard. Yes, I could have, in hindsight, ridden a shortboard and been fine. But a lot of times when it's like that, I choose what's going to be the best board for the biggest waves of the day. I just, when that moment happens and that wave comes, I don't want to miss it because I'm on too small of a board. So I will opt for more paddle power and something more comfortable in a heavy wave, even if there's only like a select couple waves throughout the morning that I'm checking it, and there's a very minimal opportunity, I want to be able to take advantage of it. So anyway, that's why I chose this. You guys have probably heard me talk about the Ghost plenty, but I absolutely love this board. It's my most trusty tube shooting board right now. Plus it's good for turns and stuff. But yeah, didn't catch a ton of great waves that second morning. I was having a shocker, but this is what I rode. And then that afternoon, I won't touch on it much because I only caught a few waves. But I rode the Lost Driver 3.0 and John fins in. Also in the Pizel Ghost, I rode the Pizel fins from Futures. And yeah, this is my Driver 3.0. It's 5'10", 18.63, 2.34, 26.9 liters. It's a little beefy for me. I don't know if it's thickness or what. I ordered it the same dimensions as my Driver 2.0s, and it came out a little beefier. So it works good when it's windy or a little bit heavier, more punchy surf. It's funny, it's like, it doesn't feel like a magic board, but then when I ride it, I can kind of I can like lay into turns really well, regardless. But session I had on it, didn't get any air sections. The session got cut short because of my, sinus pressure, if you saw the vlog. And yeah, so this is what I rode that day. Nothing really too special to share about it because it was a pretty junky session. But felt good to get back on this. It'd been a while since I'd ridden it again. I think for me, this board in its size and the round tail and whatnot, I really like it in more powerful surf. Don't really like it when it's like kind of weaker. So anyway, that is the breakdown. I don't really need to go any more into it than that. They were pretty short sessions, but hopefully you guys got something out of that as far as what boards I chose going into the Swell and what boards I rode through the Swell. And yeah, I think going forward, this channel will have more content like this. I'm not saying immediately, but that is the plan. And so right now I'm just trying to, as I work on my movie, trying to slowly build up these other pieces of content, and in 2024, 2025, have like, a steady flow of things going and have like a filming setup. This is still a wreck. So there will be a permanent camera setup, and I'm going to have a spot to put the boards so I can talk to you about them a little easier. And I'm really excited for what's coming, but right now we're just in the building stages. So stay, hang in there with me. Stay tuned. Appreciate all the support. For those of you who haven't been, be sure to hit subscribe so you can follow along with the new vlogs coming out this year, my movie coming out, and what did I call it? Behind the Barley's BTS. Sorry. And then what I rode, things like that. It's gonna be fun. So thanks y'all. See y'all next time.